Hello YouTube, you're live. Let me just get Facebook and Instagram to catch up and then we will begin. Hello lovelies, everyone's joining us. Everything seems to be working smoothly today. So good, it's so beautiful. Lovely. Hello everyone. So if you see me looking in different places, just a quick disclaimer, I'm live on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. So I'll be varying my gaze across all three of you. But welcome to the first temple talk in what seems like forever. I'm going to try and start doing these like bi-monthly again, I think. They're very fun to do. It's just the time. But yes, I want to start making the time for them. So welcome to the 1st of July's temple talks. And this week we're talking all things becoming a priestess of Cornwall. This will be my personal journey. This will be the course that we run and answering all of your lovely questions as well that you asked me last week in Instagram stories. So this is the place to come to learn about the course and what being a priestess of Cornwall even is and what it means. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Rebecca Burgess and I'm the founder and the Mother Priestess. So I'm working on Mother Goddess stuff for the students. So I nearly said Mother Goddess. That I am not. The Mother Priestess of the Temple of Cornwall, as well as being sacred celebrant, an oracle, a writer, all the other things that goes with being a priestess in this lovely modern age. So, Temple of Cornwall and its place. This is a roaming temple at the moment. We have we have like our fixed abode at my home, but public temples are kind of roaming across venues across the southwest at the moment, which is very exciting, very new. Hi everyone that's joining. So this is done that bit. Sorry, I felt like there was more there, but there is not. So my journey of becoming a priestess of Cornwall. Now, just a little disclaimer all throughout this temple talk, I will more than likely be referring to this as priestess of Cornwall, but this training, this calling is open to anyone, regardless of your gender or lack thereof. This is completely open to men, non-binaries, gender fluid, obviously women, whoever you want. So just know that when I say priestess, I mean priest and priestess as well, quite fluidly and interchangeably. So my journey to becoming a priestess, I feel like everybody who's dedicated as a priestess in some way will have a similar answer to this beginning bit. That's the beauty of it. I feel like I was born a priestess. I might not have been born ready to be a priestess, but I was born to become a priestess. It was just up to me to become one. It was kind of, as preordained as things can get. But it's up to the individual to take up their destiny, I suppose, and run with it, run towards it with open arms and embrace it. And that's precisely what I did. So I was born in Manchester, if you can't tell from the accent, but always came down here on holiday, like once or twice a year, every year with my family and then my friends as I started to grow up. And it was just, this felt like home. Manchester never felt like home. Cornwall always did. Cornwall was always the place that brought me peace, that brought me everything great and wonderful that has happened to me in my life. I'm pretty sure have happened down here. Maybe a couple of things up north, but everything monumental has happened down here. And I think, have I spent nearly half my life? No, a quarter of my life down here. I thought I'd spent half my life down here then, but a quarter of my life. And then I moved down here when I was like 21. I had my dog and I think he was my fiance at the time. We moved down here and it was just this, again, many priestesses I'm sure will say this, but the run up to actually dedicating as a priestess always feels like lots of initiations, whether that's induced by a teacher or whether that's from the, quite organically, just from the beautiful cosmos that surrounds us as well. And that was definitely what was happening. There was lots of stuff coming up. There was lots of beautiful initiations, really deep initiations. And it all came to a head when I started my sacred celebrant training in Glastonbury with Dawn Kinsella and her wonderful training there. And this was my first sort of formalized training, I suppose, with anything spiritual. I was very lucky to be raised in quite a spiritual, hippy-dippy family. But this was my first kind of outing in the public with it, if you will. And at the time, me and my husband, my then husband, were really not getting on. It was quite an abusive marriage from his side. And I'd met my twin flame, and then there was this training in Glastonbury, and everything was just so, again, kind of preordained, if you believe in that. Everything just came to a head in this kind of perfect, delicious moment, where I had to radically change my life. I was in a very boring, crappy job at Superdrug. I was married to a man who I'm pretty sure hated me. And my life was seemingly going nowhere. And that wasn't good enough for me. I always felt like I was meant for more than trying to just get by at Superdrug and be married to a man who didn't like me. And I was right. If you have that feeling, you're more, I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, not all the time. You're always right if you have that feeling. And I'd left my husband within 10 days of everything kind of coming to a head. I'd moved out. Everything was just so aligned, and I'd become this sacred celebrant. And that becoming a sacred celebrant was a journey in and of itself, which I can talk about in a different temple talk, maybe, if you're ever interested in that. But then one day, driving back home from Glastonbury to Cornwall, I don't know if anybody here is familiar with the roads in Cornwall, and this has a point, I promise. But there's a part when you're driving down the A30 where you drive past this big lake. It's like a fishing lake, I think, right in the middle of Bodmin Moor near Temple. And it's beautiful and it's so powerful, and the energies there are right in a ley line, and it's magnificent. This ley line was used for ceremonies since ancient times, so it's very powerful, very just magical and spiritual and lovely. And this, as I kind of drove past that lake, I spontaneously started to channel the spirit of Cornwall, which I'd never done. I never knew that was what they were called. I was always in tune with them, but never had a name for them, never, had anything of this sort happen to me or for me before. So all of a sudden I've got to quietly find a lay-by, which I think was in a subway of all places. Quietly find a lay-by and just pull in and let the channeling happen. And from there, I learned all about, I was to become a priestess of Cornwall, a Mother Priestess at the Temple of Cornwall, and I was to create and build this Temple of Cornwall. And a few more initiations had to happen. I had to kind of ready myself for those roles and those titles. And then when I was ready, it was this big moment. I had sinusitis for a while, which had really blocked me up, obviously physically, but spiritually as well. And everything just kind of came to a head one day. I think it was an Ostara ceremony in 2020. So it was just before the lockdowns, I think, happened in the UK anyway. And everything just, my sinusitis cleared and everything just came in, how I was going to birth the temple, how it was going to look and feel and function. As obviously an online temple for the first couple of years. And it all just came flowing through me in this glorious channeling way. And in the same moment, I was initiated and dedicated as a priestess of Cornwall, and then a further initiation as the Mother Priestess of the Temple of Cornwall. So that's like a really very short version of how I became a priestess of Cornwall. What have we got here? Love the sword on the right-hand side of you. On the right-hand side as you go down the hill. The hill? Am I missing something? This sword, though. This was actually quite interestingly from what I've just been talking about. This was the last thing my abusive ex-husband ever brought me, which is Arya Stark's needle, if you're familiar with Game of Thrones. And it's that moment where she loses it when... Oh, the lake. Yes, thank you. The lake. Yes, the lake on the right-hand side as you go down the hill. I thought you meant the sword was on the right-hand side. I was like, it's right here, mate. It's fine. Thank you. Yeah, I get you. It's when Arya Stark turns from like a little girl into an angry woman. And that's really what I was at the time. So I've kept it for that. Plus, when I first moved out, it was nice to have some pointy protection by the door in case my ex came a-calling. So it feels quite safe to have that there. No Facebook, I won't do whatever you're asking me to do. Oh, 2 comments already. Hi, Rachel. Yes, thank you. Me and Elaine know each other. That's all good. Thank you. Lovely. So let's move on. So the Priestess of Cornwall training. Oh, no, we've got something else. I spent days driving through Marazion when they were filming. It was awesome. I didn't know they filmed it there. We all walked through the village of... Oh my God, you're going to have to tell me more about that. Message me later because that sounds very interesting. I did not know they filmed there. That's fascinating. So my priestess, and again, priest or priestess of Cornwall training course is, oh, looking a bit wonky here on Facebook, aren't we? There we go. It's a 2-year course, and it is predominantly an online course, but there are so many different lovely opportunities for you to come down or visit Cornwall, where we have sacred walks, immersive weekends, intensive weekends, ceremonies. You can be as embodied into the physicality of the land as you like, or we've got current students that are in Canada, for example, and she gets on just fine. We send them a little care package with like Cornish elements in there, and they can still connect just fine. It all works beautifully. So yeah, you don't have to be in Cornwall to do this course by any means. If you visited, it will obviously help. But actually, let me get them up, because one of the recent testimonials I've gotten from a current student talks about the power of it being, parts of it being an online course. So this is from one of my lovely students called Stephanie. Let's see. So here you go. The Zoom sessions were a complete surprise to begin with. I wasn't expecting to feel energies so tangibly, but I promise the energy is strong and powerful. I can't wait for the end of year dedication to feel it all in person. So yeah, it all works just fine, just amazingly as an online event. And well, oh, the new one, I will message you. Yes, please do message me. I'm so interested to learn more about that. So the course in general, what does it bring you? What can it do for you? Why even bother doing it? I will let you know. So it will bring you into much deeper harmony with yourself. It will bring you back home to yourself. If you're somebody who struggles with like a disconnect somewhere in your life, where a bit like I was talking about before, where things might not be adding up. Like I didn't like my crappy job at Superdrug and thought I was meant for more. Totally was. You're all right if you think that. Bringing you back into that deeper harmony and that connection as well with yourself and with Cornwall and the spirit of Cornwall and the different elementals and lovely deities that we work with in this temple. So that would be, I'm trying to think where we're at the current cycle. So that's the mermaid priestesses of Lyonesse. That is the goddess Kerr, the Cornish dragons, Morgana Le Fay, Merlin, the Cornish knockers, the Cornish fae, and Canonos. Yes, the god Canonos. That's all the lovely, beautiful elementals and deities that we work with and that you will work with for the 2 years as you spiral within this course for the 2 years. So by connecting in with yourself and by opening yourself up to these deep levels of harmony within yourself, you will be able to do so many things. But just an insight, you will be able to channel, let the energies of whatever needs to come through you. There will be no blockages. There will be nothing holding you back from your own medicine, from your own magic, from your own power. There will be nothing to stop you. There'll be nothing to, hold you back from yourself and from the cosmos as well. And you will leave the course very empowered. This whole course is built with you and your empowerment in mind. It is taught in such a way where I would never teach something from this is exactly how it has to be done, and this is why it has to be done that way. And if you do it a different way, then you are wrong and you're off the course and everything's gone to shit. Oh my God. It's not like that at all. It's very much encouraged that this is, from my 30 years of experience, this is what I've learned, this is what I did, this is what works for me. But why don't you go and discover with my help what works for you? Because I'm not expecting the way that, for example, I oracle to be the way that you oracle. That's not how human works, and life would be really boring if that was. So your empowerment is very much considered from even the application process, that's all that's all got you in mind, and it's wonderful. So besides being a readily, a channel that is unblocked, becoming empowered, you also become your most authentic self. And I get asked quite a lot, like, why is that an important or necessary thing? And for me, that was the key that really unlocked true happiness and peace in my life. It's that moment where I know what I'm about, and that's fine. And most, people that love me and like me know what I'm about as well, and that's okay. I don't have to, impress anyone or subdue myself for anyone. I can just be my full potent self, and from there springs the happiness, the peace, the joy, just the general fun and love of life as well. All comes from that place, from being your authentic self. So that's why I think it's important. That's why I really encourage it in my priestess students as well, because it's, I don't know, I think being a priestess is experiencing or you have experienced extreme highs and extreme lows. And we are the bridge between each. We are the bridge between polarities. We are the bridge that takes the human to the divine and the divine to the human. And so to have that authenticity in yourself, especially when you're surrounded by so many different energies, whether they be perhaps they're clients that you're priestessing for, perhaps it's deities, elementals, general land energies, whatever, or whomever it might be, we're surrounded by a lot of constant energies and wonderful and big personalities. So it's nice to have that authentic self to come back home to, and to keep you anchored and kind of solid and grounded in yourself as well, but like a lightning rod, keeping you safe and secure in yourself. So I think that answers all the general kind of niggly questions about the course and what becoming a priestess of Cornwall is in general as well. So let's find your questions that you sent me last week. Here we are. Nice. So one of my favorite questions that I got asked was, what makes this course different? And I love that. Give me any chance to like talk about, why I'm so proud of this course and what makes it so good in my opinion and in my students' opinions as well. So what makes it different? This is a course that is built with you in mind. So like I said, the empowerment is what makes it different. This is not there was only one way to do this kind of course. This is how I do it. How do you want to do it? And encouraging you and helping you and guiding you, discovering how, perhaps a certain priestess skill works for you, or what does working with Morgana Le Fay look like for you? Is she a healer for you, or is she this radical sensual enchantress for you, or is she all of the above? It's discovering what these deities, what it means to be a priestess of Cornwall, what that means to you. And this course is also very aware and in touch with its students' mental health. I've heard really horrible, what I hope are just rumours, but really horrible rumours about other priestess courses in the past that have, apologies if you can hear my neighbour's dogs, that have, taken students right to the belly of their shadow self, right to the seventh circle of hell within them, and then immediately broken for lunch and just kind of left the students there. There was no aftercare. People were saying that there was like people crying in the streets every year because of the way that this course ran. And I don't ever want to put somebody through that. I think meeting your shadow is an important aspect of priestessing, but I think just being left on the streets to self-soothe yourself into a comatose state is not the way to do it at all. So we have an impeccable aftercare and mental health system in place for our students as well, just in case things do get a bit too, not great on the mental health front for you. And any of the darker shadow work is never enforced. I think in the second year, we go a bit deeper into the shadow aspects of ourselves, but that is all completely optional. And even if you want to discuss that with me or your other tutor, which is Lorna Graham, the fantastic crone priestess, You don't even have to discuss the shadow work with me and Lorna if you don't want to. It is all completely up to you. And again, self-guided, with me and Lorna there to support you if you want it. But if you don't, then that's fine. And this course, so how's it different? Empowerment, mental health care, in quite a big way. How else is it different? I'm trying to think of all the ways, like how to verbalize all the ways, because there's so many. Empowerment, mental health. I think the introduction of dedicated crone modules as well from, like I just said, Lorna, how long have we been here? 20 minutes. Okay, we'll give it another 10 or 15 minutes. I like to keep these about half an hour. Sorry, Facebook. My dog just hit the back of my laptop, so you might have wobbled then. Lorna Graham, she comes in as a guest tutor for 4 modules, so it's Samhain and Yule for both years. She comes in and guides you through these incredible, amazing crone modules. And that was something that I felt was really important, because me when I started teaching this course, I was in like my mid to late 20s. So not a crone at all, but really felt this course needed some crone energy. I feel like you can't, like, Cornwall is so ancient, is so deeply old and mythical that it is crone energy. We work with Merlin quite a lot in the course. So to have the feminine aspect as the crone in there, and so expertly and beautifully guided as by Lorna, really sets us apart, in my opinion. I think it's quite fantastic that we have Lorna on board with us here at the Temple of Cornwall. Very proud of her and what she's doing. We also have, where do we begin? So many ceremonies and rituals. This whole course is based around, obviously, the different aspects of the wheel of the year. But then within that, it's maybe like the Sacred Celebrant course that I did took us this deep, but that wasn't really priestess training. It was priestess training for me. It just happened that way. Really takes you through the labyrinth, through the wheel of the year in such a deep and profound way. So this, in every piece of content that you receive from this course as a student at the Temple of Cornwall, is channeled. There's, it's as pure a channel as I can be. It's all just come through from the Spirit of Cornwall, or whichever kind of elemental or deity we're working with at the time. So a really good example of that is that we open up every new season with a ceremony. And last night was my students' Letha ceremony, which is where they get to meet the mermaid priestesses of Lyonesse for the first time. And last night was a ceremony to meet their inner divine feminine and embrace her and embody her. And it was beautiful and amazing and really powerful. And I'd been really struggling to write the workbook that goes out today to them. I was really struggling to put that together. The channel just wasn't there for some reason. It was just, things were coming, things were fine, but like it wasn't as deep and as powerful as it is usually. So for once, I thought, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to see what happens. And at the ceremony last night, it was so palpable, like the feminine rage that was in the space because of, the Roe v. Wade and the human rights bill getting looked at over here, which is mental. The feminine rage and like the womb power that was there was just so incredible. And during the ceremony, things happened, and afterwards as well, that made me go back to the workbook for today and start to channel the mermaids again. And it was this rage that they are the keepers of this feminine fury, of this rage. So that's all a new part in this module for our current students, because it is a pure channeling. I could sit there and kind of have a guess at what I think the mermaids want to teach you, but they're not going to be able, so I'm not going to be able to teach you about them as good as they could, or as well as they could. So that's why it's all completely unfiltered, channeled energy to you and for you to better aid you on your journey as well. And you learn so many different skills. I'm still on what makes us different. I've got a massive long list. You learn so many different priestess skills as well. Basically everything that I have learned in my 30 odd years is at your disposal in this very raw, unfiltered, channeled way. So I'm trying to, off the top of my head, you learn how to channel, you learn how to do that, how to oracle, you learn the Cornish energy healing method. You learn how to create meditations, and activations for people as well. You learn how to care for the land, obviously physically how to care for Cornwall, but also spiritually how to care for a land, or even your, if you're like my student in Canada, for example, how to care for your land that you live upon. Doesn't have to be Cornwall necessarily. You learn how to hold sacred circles. You learn protection rites. You learn manifestation, embodied empowerment, all sorts of different divination techniques. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, but there's a lot in there for you to learn and get your head around as well. So there's, it's what we've got that makes us different. Empowerment, mental health, the depth of the channeling and the channeling itself, and the sheer amount of priestess skills that you learn, and the ceremonies that you have as well, like the regularity of the ceremonies there as well. So that was the question, what makes this course different? The next question was, how will I know if this course is for me? And I've had to take notes for this so I don't forget. So do excuse me if I'm looking down at my notes a little bit at this one. So how will you know if this course is for you? I love that question. I love all your questions. You guys are always the best. So how do you know if this course is for you? If you're somebody who feels very, sorry if my dog's about to knock over, please don't jump through there, my girl. No, come around this way. Okay, or you can stay there. That's good. Good girl. If you're somebody, how do you know this course is for you? If you're somebody who feels very stuck in life, very like no matter which way you turn, no matter which door you try and open, it's just life's not moving in the direction that you want. Life's not shifting. Life's not progressing. You're just stuck. Whether it was like me, like in that rubbish job, or with that, the relationship that doesn't serve you, whatever it could be. Even like, if you're stuck in your home and you feel like you want to move and you can't, just a lot of stuck energy and significant stuck energy as well. And like you were born for something different than what you currently are living. Yeah, that sense of something, reluctant to say greater or bigger, because that sounds like life at the moment is crappy, and that's not what I want to try and make you think. I don't want you to think your life is crappy, because I'm sure it's lovely. I hope it's lovely for you. But those moments where you just know that, I was born for more than Superdrug. I was born for more than this relationship that isn't healthy, whatever it could be. If you're somebody who wants to take charge of your future, now you've had enough of trying to fumble with doors and open them and it not working. If you're somebody who just wants to barrel through them, through initiation and initiation and initiation, until you get to that point where you think, I've reclaimed my birthright. This is what I came here to do. This is what I'm here for. I'm living my full truth. Then this course is for you. If you are ever feeling significantly out of alignment with nature and its rhythms, and this is obviously nature in Cornwall, but could be nature where you live as well. So like I've had students in the past from New Orleans. So let's say, out of nature with New Orleans, and a myriad of creatures and weather phenomena there as well. So if you feel out of touch with your local nature, your local nature spirits, and you want to connect back in with them, to live in rhythm once more, to bring in, oh dear, Instagram, I'm on about 10% battery. Yeah, it's not going to reach the plug. We're wrapping up anyway. We're coming to a close, so hopefully it shouldn't matter. But if this suddenly just closes off, I apologise, but you know why. Courses for you if you want to take action on the forward momentum of your life, if you want to regain some control there. If you're feeling out of alignment with nature, so you want to move back into the rhythms of life and your own cycles and the cycles of the land upon which you live as well, and the cycles of Cornwall as well. Courses for you if you're somebody who lacks community support and wants that community support. So again, with this course, we have a big focus on your community of tutors and fellow sacred siblings that are on the course with you as well. And this community is never enforced. It's there if you want it. It's there if you can easily not be a part of it if you don't want it. I know that a lot of people quite enjoy solitary work. So that's completely fine. That's completely an option for you if you want it. But yeah, you do have that amazing community support here in this course. You have myself and Lorna that you can come to for anything. We have mental health, what do you call them? Words completely left my head. Like mental health help within the group as well. There's a lot of support if you need it and if you want it, they're available to you. And if you just want that community of like similar people who are on the same path as you, people who understand you at such a core level and that you can be really vulnerable with and be completely yourself with, then this course is for you. If you are somebody who, wants to learn new skills, have this be priestess skills, then this is the course for you, because like I mentioned before, you learn so many skills. And you could, just have one of the skills, oracling, for example, if you wanted to, you could build an entire priestess business just off being an oracle, if that's what you wanted, and a successful business as well, by helping so many people, so many clients to hear the voice of the gods through you. It's amazing. You learn so much. There's something new every 6 weeks or so, but there's still, you have really, you have a lot of one-on-ones with me as well, where we can deep dive further into things. So, if oracling doesn't suit you and you've tried, you've given it a go, but you're just not a fan of it, then we can move on to scrying, for example. In our one-on-ones, we can go deeper into that and bring that up, bring that medicine, bring that skill up within you and help you embody the medicine there as well. And this course is for you if you want to connect with the spirit of Cornwall, the beauty that it has there, the power that it has, and the deep, wildly magical healing energy that is the spirit of Cornwall. If you want to connect with that, to use it for yourself or for any clients, if you have a priestess business or want to be a public priestess, then this is for you. If any one of those things ticks a box in your soul, you go, oh God, yeah, that's what I want to do, that's it, then this course is for you, my lovelies. So I think that brings us quite nicely, yes, to 1:30. Beautiful. I love it when things align like that. So my lovelies, the replay, if you've watched the replay, hello, welcome, thank you. Amazing. Have we got any other questions while I'm here? I don't know what percentage I'm on Instagram. Don't know. What's that? That was a new one I messaged you. That's wonderful. Oh, thank you, Lorna. So the wonderful Lorna has said the two courses are different in structure and content, and this can surely only be a good thing given the state of the world right now. We need as many people as possible to find the path that speaks to them to weave the work that is needed. So right, Lorna. Thank you so much, my lovely. I appreciate everything that you do for the temple and for myself as a friend. I love you. I was presuming you're still watching. You could have gone by now. But lovely. So that brings us to the end of this week's Temple Talk. I will, whenever I've put my phone on charge and I'm back on Instagram, then I will post in my stories about what you want the next Temple Talk to be about. So anybody on Facebook or YouTube that's watching, head over there, cast your vote, see what we're feeling at the moment as well. Yes, thank you all so much for coming here. If you want to learn more about the Priestess of Cornwall course, then somewhere around the page, or there'll be a link in my bio. You can go there and learn more, and you can apply through that as well by booking in for a free discovery call with me. You just get to talk to me for half an hour about all things priestess, and it's magical and wonderful, and I love meeting you all. It's so amazing. So my lovelies, I will see you all. I'm on holiday next week, the week after. See you all then. Lots of love to you all. And now is the awkward part where I'm still live on some places. Hello, Instagram, while I'm closing down the live and other ones. So do feel free to just leave while I'm awkwardly pressing buttons. Bye, YouTube. And bye, Instagram.